Who have been the best 10 midfielders for the last decade, 2013 to 2023 in the AFL. At number 10, I've got Paddy Cripps, 3 All-Australians, captain of a club, leading Carlton to stability. No doubt he's in the top 10. At number 9, I've got Travis Boak, body of work for Port Adelaide, 3 All-Australians, 2014 even to now, aging like fine wine, great midfielder. At number 8, controversially, I've got Lachie Neale, 2-time Brownlow medalist, but the recent one he probably shouldn't have won considering he didn't even make All-Australian that year. He has won the 3 All-Australians, however, leading Brisbane from the front line, he definitely deserves a top 10. At number 7, I've got a man with 5 All-Australians, it's Marcus Bontempelli. Phenomenal on his day, in his prime, arguably the best, his ability, arguably the best, body of work's been pretty decent, he's won the flag for the Dogs as well, and he should have won the Norm Smith that game. At number 6, I've got Joel Selwood. What more do I have to say? Captain, leader, he's finally got his flag in the last decade as the captain as well, which is good to note. Body of work, it has to be him. At number 5, I've got Scott Pendlebury, really debating between Lachie Neale, Bont at 7 and 8, and then now 5 and 6, Pendles and Selwood. Who's 5, who's 6? I've gone Pendles because there's no other player I've ever seen in the AFL in my lifetime that can pause time, slow down time when he gets the ball. That's what Pendlebury can do. 3 All-Australians, he's won the flag now. As a leader, not quite a captain unfortunately. Body of work, been phenomenal. Always a great player. Now before we go into our top 4, I'm going to give you some honourable mentions. I've got a variety of names here. Chris Judd, Sam Mitchell, Zach Merrick, Clayton Oliver, Trent Cotchin, Tom Mitchell, Sidebottom, Andrew Gaff, Rory Sloane, Matt Pritters, Dan Hanbury, David Mundy, Dane Swan, Josh Kennedy. But the one honourable mention that I didn't put in is Christian Petrarca. He's won the 4 All-Australians, but I just think the others deserve to be on the list a little bit more because of body of work. Yes, Track has also won the flag and the Norm Smith, but unfortunately just misses out. At number 4 is Nat 5, 3 All-Australians, 2 Brownlows, phenomenal player in his prime in 2015, an absolute joke, even 2014 as well, and he's still doing alright. At number 3, I've got 7-time All-Australian, the most All-Australians on this list, but he hasn't made my top 2, it's Patrick Dangerfield. Won the flag for Geelong, finally his first flag, but let's be real, the Brownlow year in 2016, he was absolutely colossal. In his prime, amazing, ability, brilliant, unstoppable. But it's not as good as my top 2. At number 2, I've got the man who plays for this club, Dustin Martin. Dustin Martin, 3 Norm Smiths, 4 All-Australians, the Brownlow year, the best individual year I've ever seen in my life from an AFL player, winning every single award you could win that year. And he's still doing well, arguably should have made All-Australian last season, which just shows he's aging like fine wine, but is not as good as my number 1, who is Gary Ablett. Gary Ablett in 2013, the start of the decade, he did win the Brownlow. And in 2014, he had a period of time where he was the best player I've ever seen play the game to this day. Unfortunately, the shoulder injury against Collingwood hampered his season and he couldn't play for the rest of it. But in 2013-14, head and shoulders above the rest of the competition. At his end of his time at Gold Coast and even just the side of Geelong, he was still a phenomenal player. Yes, he's only won the 2 All-Australians and didn't win a flag for the last decade. But for me, player for player, no one gets close to Gary Ablett. Do you agree with my top 10? Let me know.